All right, so now let's see, we're recording. Awesome.
Okay, I think I have demos today. So,
Okay.
hi everyone. Welcome to TCL 13, weekly 2 demos and retro. So, who wants to start with their demo?
I mean, I was issue 3, so I can go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I made sure to load everything ahead of time today. I was thinking. Okay. So the issue Shane and I had was to have create a token, put the token in local storage, and then if you don't have a token, display like the welcome screen. If you do have a token, go to view list. And so we created this before we fully understood that it was like an if thing. We were just following the right wireframe. Once I figured that out, and thank you to the mentors for pointing that out, there was an attempt made. So check token was created, and it was not this pretty to begin with. Thank you to Allie for rubber ducking and pulling me through this. So it checks if there is a token in local storage with the TCL 13 key. If there is one, it tells you that your list is coming up. This alert is probably temporary. I just kind of slapped it in there for user experience, because if I'm trying to get to a main page and it keeps sending me elsewhere, I kind of want to know why. But I'm sure as like we build down the line, that gets taken care of. But just for now, slapped in there. If you don't have a list, it will then take you to the welcome homepage that has like the create list, join list option. And if you do, it takes you to view list. This was my first time using hooks. So once again, thank you, Allie. Yeah, and then we had, I guess, add token would probably be a good thing to mention. Sorry, I don't know where we put it. I think it was, it's under new list. So the project came with a token creator, I guess is the way to put it. It came like pre-built with the function in it. So all we had to do was access the function, and then we put it into new list. And then we just set the token with the TCL 13 key in local storage. So, oh, I have more than one window today. Gorgeous. So I just got rid of the token. And so if you go to the main page, it yells at you and tells you you don't have a list. So it takes you to the welcome component where you have your options, create new list. We now have a token. And then if you try to go back to the base app, it tells you you have a list. And then you're on the view list page. So yeah, that's what Shane and I worked on this week. He was super helpful. Sad he couldn't be here today, but yeah, I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Thank you to the mentors.
Yeah. So Rachel, do you want to go ahead and demo yours?
Are we supposed to present from the Netlify as well, or I just am, or do you want me to do my code, or?
Both.
Okay.
It's like you can do a demo first on either Netlify or your local host. If for some reason Netlify, you don't have the link to it, then showing the code, what you did. The idea is that since the teams keep changing, so you want everyone to have an idea of what the code changes have been.
Okay.
So they know where things are.
Sure. So this is deployed, and our issue was, hold on, sorry, I'm not as like together as I'd like to be right now, but you can see it. So we were, let me look at what it is. So it is, as a user, I want to add a new item to my shopping list so I can start recording purchases. And basically the following data points: the name of item, how soon you're going to buy it, and last date purchased, which if we look in the Firebase, can you still see it? Okay, so you can look, if you look at the field, well, we also added a date created, but it's item name, last purchased, which is null at the beginning. I think we're going to eventually add that. The time frame, which is soon, kind of soon, not soon, and then the user token, which will actually change based on what the token's name was. That was just, we just put in token as the initial while they were working on tokens would be there. And so you can like add an item where we are gonna get, I need to get kitten food, but it's getting delivered right now, soon. And then when we go to add it, it lets us know that it's submitted it to, that lets us know that it's submitted to the database. And then if we go to view list, and right now we just have one list, you can see there's kitten food right there. Yeah. So that was, yeah, so the user is presented with a form, just to go over our acceptance criteria. The user is presented with a form that allows them to enter a name of an item and select how soon they anticipate buying it again. When they submit the form, it's associated to the database, associated with the user's token. And we're gonna have to figure out how to put with the tokens that they created in that. Right now, everyone has the same token. So we'll have to figure out how to merge that. And the last purchase date should be set to null initially, and the item's name should be displayed in a simple unordered list after they're added. So that's the view list. Yeah, and then in terms of the code, oh, I'm still on that screen, sorry. Let me get back to the meeting. In terms of this code. Okay, so an add item. So basically we set up a state for form data. And right now we made just the user token, just token, but it's gonna change depending on what the token is. But we set up a state for form data that is gonna have item name. And these are like the original, you know, on the radio it's set to soon. So that's 7, null, user token, date created. Then we reference the database. And then we have a update input and a handle submit. So on submit, it's handling the submit, which is adding the item to the database and then like logging an error, and that's alerting us as well. And then as the input, as we're adding it into the input, it's recording it for the unchanged. So that's the update input function to set the form data. Yeah, and then we did, I know we talked about this, we just did like some really like light CSS with it, just because the field set, if you don't make it, it takes up the whole screen and it just looked really wonky. So we just wanted it to be like a little clearer. And that's why we were asking about CSS. I know that Eddie was telling us we're not going to really do styling till week 6. It just looked, I don't know. We just wanted it to look a little clean while we were doing that. So we had a little CSS. We made a CSS for like add items and just did a little bit for that. And then for the view list, okay. So then for view list, we're basically creating a state, which is the items and set items. We're gonna reference the items database. And then when it loads, it's like the use effect. So we're querying it and it's like where user token equals token, but it's going to be whatever the name of the token is. And then basically we create like a temporary items array, and then it's going to like push all the document data with the user token into that. And then we're going to set the items to that temporary items array from the database, and then we're going to map it, and that's where you see it. Yes. Am I supposed to do more things? I forget.
No, that's good. I really like that you do know how to use how to use this effect, and that you set up the empty array at the bottom on line 28 so that it works as component did mount, as opposed to like updating it every single time, right? Because if you don't put anything there, like every time it's re-rendered, the use effect will run. Yeah, good job, everyone.
Let me share my. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice job. And hi, Eddie.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I'm at the supermarket, so I had to come outside and get in the car.
It's been a morning, a day for everybody, as far as I can tell. So no worries. Okay, that gets us to. But good. No, nice job on the demos, guys.
Thank you.
And that gets us to our retro. So if grab this. Here is the link to the retro board if you don't have it already. I'm going to share my screen quick. Okay, so this is what our retro board looks like. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take 7 to 10 minutes or however long we really need to fill this out. Everyone is going to, and this is mentors included, if you can, go through and fill out one card for each of the first 3 columns. You're going to put 1 to 3 items depending on each card for people, things that you appreciate, things that went really well this week, and anything you ran across that got in your way or slowed you down. And if you don't have anything to put, that's fine. That's cool. And let me double check that I am not missing anything. Okay, cool. And then when we are done filling them out, we'll go through and read them off and add extra comments if we've got them. Are there any questions? Did that make sense? You good? Rebecca went through and put hers in yesterday, so they are already there. So I'm gonna go ahead and give everybody time to fill these out if you are able. And then when you're done, if you wouldn't mind just typing done into the Zoom chat so we know you're finished. And then we'll read them off and talk about them when everybody's through. Ready, set, go, unless you have questions. right, how are we doing? Looks like Eddie, are you still working on?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm on a phone, so it's taking
Yeah,
me a little bit.
you're good. You're good. We've got plenty of time, so
Or
Sorry.
you can just tell us, you
you
know?
can also just tell us. You know, we can. Good point. Yeah. Um. Cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get us started. We'll start with the appreciations column. And then everybody will go through and read out their card and add any additional comments or thoughts. Rachel, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do have a question because I feel like as I was chatting, I realized, and I was just typing it, so I'm just gonna put it in the chat too. But like for that point in the acceptance criteria, where it's like when the user submits the form, the item is saved to the database associated with the user's token. Well, like when we're querying it in the view list, it queries it by the user's token, but I don't feel like we have a place for the user token
It's saved to the database.
associated with the user's token. Does that make sense? And so I'm not sure if that's something that I need to fix like today or just like to connect it all, or if that's going to be a hurdle moving forward.
That is a very good point and a very good question.
And I was like gonna put it on that list, but I was like, I don't know what column. So I'm just gonna type it out because I realized it as I was talking and doing the retro. I was like, oh, huh.
Well, it seems kind of complicated because the other team is working on that at the same
Right.
time as you are.
Right.
So I'm not sure if that should be something that should have been part of this sprint.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
still something that needs to get done, but maybe it's not as well structured and could be done in the next sprint, but I don't know where it would fit.
Yeah.
And looking at the next couple of issues. Huh. Yeah, we'll definitely have to sort that out. But let's do our retro.
Yeah. I just wanted to put that out because it was on my mind as I was talking. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, good point. Let's do this and then we can talk about that. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen and not in the meeting. All right, so we got the retro board. Okay. Eddie, would you like to tell us about your appreciations this week?
Yes. I think like everyone, I appreciate like the effort everyone's putting in and the thought process as well. I kind of do the same thing and I do it with my team as well. Like we don't write code for like today or tomorrow. We write it for like the lifespan of the project and the for the next developer coming in. So I see all the questions and from the office hours too, like everybody's thinking about how are we designing the project or how are we, is this right or is this like proper technique or whatever the case may be. So I kind of appreciate that. It's just like you guys aren't taking it just as like, oh, okay, I'm doing this one cohort and it's just to get the experience, but you guys are really like into it and putting all your effort into it. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Rachel.
Sure. So I was saying I'm really appreciative of like how accessible all the mentors have been in so many like various forms, like Slack, office hours, GitHub. And it's also, I think, really good because it just shows us all the different ways you're going to communicate with the team anyway. And so it's like in the practice of learning to like use all these different things and combine them. So that's been great. And both Shane and Rebecca have been like great partners in terms of like sharing of work and like being really dedicated, which I would have hoped because I think I like to work hard. So it's nice when that feels the same. And then, yeah, Shane just showed me how to do that React extension, which has just changed my life. And I've been telling all my friends who use React as well, who don't know about it, where you just write like RCC or RFC, and then it does like that in VS Code. It's great.
Do you know what she's talking about, Indira?
I have no idea.
It's is it an Emmet extension? I'll have to look, but yeah, it's
VS Code. It's an extension. It's just like React Redux. It's like a very basic extension, and then you can just type like RFC, and it will do like a functional component skeleton.
like I like my arrow function, so for me it's RAF CE, and it just like you type that, you hit tab, and you just get an entire component. It's great.
I usually do WebStorm, and what I do is like you can create templates. So given the name, it generates something for you. So like I created my own templates for like WebStorm, and that's how I would have like created my components.
Indira, do you want to go ahead and go?
Yeah, so I really appreciated the last minute change on that missing acceptance criteria. I appreciated Ali jumping on a Zoom call with Audra to try to like figure that out, and Audra like accepting that feedback at the last minute and saying, okay, I need to get this done, and asking for help whenever she needed it. So yeah.
Audra?
So I really appreciated like over the last 2 weeks, like the mentors and like the quality of feedback and comments have, you know, it's been really great because it's not just like, oh yeah, fix this. There's always like an explanation of why. So like, for example, Indira, you told me like, you know, please rename like your token from token to like TCL 13. And I was like, okay, like why? And then the next sentence was because other people testing your stuff are going to be confused. And it was like, oh, like this makes sense. So I appreciate the why because it helps us like apply the feedback like to other areas of like what we're doing, and kind of we can start anticipating things instead of just being like reactive. We can start being proactive because we're getting such like really great feedback. Also the office hours and emergency one-on-one time, definitely appreciated. You know, threw up the bat signal, and it was really great that Ali was able to help me out. And to Rebecca and Shane, who aren't here, but you know, for being amazing partners. And every time I worked with them, they taught me something new. Shane taught me a lot about local storage, and Rebecca taught me like a whole bunch about router. So that's always appreciated.
Awesome. I just wanted to tell everyone how much I appreciate how patient and accepting they've been. We are living in the middle of a pandemic. And sometimes people forget this, but everybody has been absolutely phenomenal at just working with everybody else's schedule and the emergencies that we're having. That's life. This is real life. So I'm just really happy to see that and how awesome everybody's been working together. And then I'm going to go ahead and read Rebecca's out. She's not here to give us any additional detail, but I do want to make sure it gets read. So mentors, appreciations for such thorough reviews and comments. Your critical eye has helped make me aware that I need to be more diligent in reviewing my own code before submitting pull requests. Audra for cluing me in on some VS Code hacks that are definitely going to save me a ton of time in the future. And Rachel for asking thoughtful questions that are helping me rethink, solidify my rationale behind how I'm structuring code. So cool. All right, so let's talk about what went well. Eddie, you're up. What went well? Eddie, you're muted.
I'm sorry. I think like just everybody, the work they're putting into their tasks, the communication, for those, for everyone who attended the office hours, the questions they were asking, Yeah, and just the collaboration, like everybody's doing an awesome job, and I think that went well this week.
Thank you. Rachel.
I'm just seeing all these spelling and grammar errors in my thing. Anyway, so what went well? I think working in Paris has been great, and like really adhering to that cadence that you've recommended it's been really nice for structuring my personal life, to be honest, because I'm just job searching, which feels like it can have little structure. So it's like I have these days where I'm coding with people, and then I'll like work on my own projects, and then days where we're doing other stuff, I'll like apply to jobs. So I've just been so appreciative. And I just really have been so appreciative, and like what really went well is just it's forced me to slow down so much and really think about how I like code and my commit messages and how I comment. And my like boot camp immersion program was just so intense, and I felt like I was always behind, and everything was like always like just going so fast that I felt like I lost a lot of those like little details that I actually enjoy. Like I'm a very detail oriented worker, so like I like knowing all the details. So I feel like it's really adding that kind of missing element for me. So I'm very, very happy.
Yay. Great. Audra.
So I think the organization of like the whole program so far has been really great. I think the issues are really great bite-sized chunks, and so I don't feel overwhelmed with everything else I have to do in my life. So I feel like I am allowed, or I do have the time to give like this project the time it deserves, because I don't feel like I'm swamped and drowning, which is amazing. So whoever organized this thing, like gold star, well done. And I think both of our teams, we've been really great at sticking to that schedule, making sure we're getting things done, reaching out for help when we need it. And I mean, so far so good. I think everything has been going very well. The processes are fantastic, and yeah.
Awesome. And Andrew is the one, Andrew and Stacy both have done a lot as far as setting the program up and working out the cadence. So yeah, so the answer is Andrew is awesome. All right. I just want to say, I think both teams did a great job of communicating out in the open on Slack. I know at first that can be really intimidating. Like, I have to go admit that I have no idea what I'm talking about and ask for help. That can be sort of rough at first. And I think everybody's done a phenomenal job of just jumping in and asking questions and being willing to sort of put themselves out there in kind of uncomfortable positions, and that includes me. I was telling Audra as we were pairing yesterday, this is sort of a new thing for me to be trying to sort of teach and explain code. I've taught a lot of other things before, but actually teaching code is something that's new to me. So I also want to add that I really appreciate her patience as we were working through things yesterday. It was awesome. So, Indira?
Yes. So I think everyone has done really great on adhering to the schedule. Like pull requests are open on Wednesday, and like it still gives time to the other team to look at their pull requests, and then like to us mentors. And I really have liked how everyone has been open to feedback. Like whatever feedback is provided, everyone's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Or like if they have any questions, like they will bring them up. Um, I'm bad with names, but it's not that I'm bad with names. I don't remember who commented what, but like I remember there was also like a question on the Firebase that there were like 2 files that were named Firebase. And I was like, I didn't go that deep into the code, right? But like asking those questions helped us clean out the code like on time, basically. And also I appreciated Audra's comment about my comment on the pull request right now, like about giving the why. I always like, sometimes when you're a junior developer and you're trying to give feedback, it's harder for it to be taken into account, and you need to back them up with reasons. So that's kind of like something that I still have in my mind, and I still like provide that. And maybe that's a good tip for you, like going forward, like to try to. Sometimes it's harder for people just to take you on your word. So while you build that, it's good to say like, yeah, look at this other article I found online, and it states that this is the best practice, kind of, and like this person is really knowledgeable in this area, or I did my research, and that is why I'm giving you this feedback. Sometimes that's needed, especially when you're a junior. Sometimes it's not, but it's just like a practice when doing like code reviews so that you're taken more seriously and things go better there. But yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And then I'll read Rebecca's. Structure/schedule. I'm super impressed with how thoughtfully structured the program has been to date. It definitely gives the whole experience a professional vibe and elevates expectations of myself. Collaboration with pairs, organic divisions of labor, and scheduling of time seems to be working well so far, despite time zones differences. So yeah, really great job this week, guys. I'm super excited. As far as what kept us from making progress, I know we had my thing was we had some issues as far as exactly what goes in the acceptance criteria. And I've put a note to, talk this through with Andrew and whatnot and see if we can't make things a little clearer. But that also, I know people have commented on how smoothly the program goes. Every time they run through another one of these, Andrew takes feedback on the acceptance criteria or how issues are written. We try to improve it so that it makes a little more sense maybe next time. So shout out to him again. And then I'll go ahead and read, Rebecca had just a quick comment. She said that as far as office hours went, I feel like I left valuable time with mentors on the table because I hadn't put enough time or thought into preparing questions in advance. Next sprint, I'll dedicate more time to preparing so that I make the most of that valuable resource. I actually I wanted to come to office hours because I always learn things at office hours. Unfortunately, I had to take my cat to the vet. It's been one of those weeks, so I wasn't there. But what I would tell Rebecca, don't be too hard on yourselves. This is new. We're all improving. So yeah. Indira, Eddie, did you have any other comments you wanted to make?
I don't think this is like anything that kept us from making progress, but I know like everybody's probably doing their own research, and it would be kind of cool if just if you find an article or a link or I don't know, whatever, just throw it on the Learning Together or even the TLC 13 Slack channel and just share the wealth.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't have anything there. What I did want to mention was like maybe Rachel's comment we can add into action items. Because that acceptance criteria also seems a little wonky with the other team working on it. No, the Rachel's comment on the chat in Zoom.
Right. About how I wasn't sure how like that line with the acceptance criteria was like when the user submits a form associated with the user token. But what we were saying is like that's contingent on issue 3.
Yeah, let's jump over to that then. If we're good. Try. I can't find anything. Where did my sorry, I perpetually lose the Zoom buttons. Let's see. All right, Eddie, you were, I think, in charge of issues this week, but can you see them? You're driving, right?
Yeah, I'm not driving. I'm in the car, so I can't see them this week.
Okay. No worries, I can read them. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick though, so is it
5 and 6?
Yeah, it's 5 and 6. I want to look at.
We have Rebecca and Shane and Rachel and Audra.
Yes.
So I'm guessing the two of them will pick the issue, and then
Right.
whoever missed gets the other one.
Yeah, and then when I get a chance, I don't have a whole lot going on right now, so I can always get together with those two, tomorrow or something, and go over their issue and make sure they're all up to date and that sort of thing. I mean, anybody else is welcome to join, but I'm happy to do that. So yeah, let's read this week's issues, and then we can kind of talk about. Sorry, I'm trying to get over to our stories. Okay, let me share this. All right. Can everybody see our project board? Did I get there? Okay. All right. So our issues for this week are, we're at issues 5 and 6. So issue 5 is, as a user, I want to join an existing shopping list so I can share a shopping list with another person. Tokens can be shared with other users to allow them to co-manage a given list. Joining an existing list consists of the following. Users enter an existing token, save the token to local storage, and show the user the existing list. So the acceptance criteria for this one is going to be when the user does not already have a token in local storage on the onboarding/home screen, a simple form is displayed that allows the user to enter a token. Entering the token and hitting submit saves the token to local storage, effectively giving them joint control of the list. On submit, show an error if the token does not exist. If they get an error message, allow them to try again or create a new list.
Audra, would you be interested in doing this? I just haven't looked at local storage in a while, and I would love to get into it.
This is the one I was hoping to do too, so that works out
Cool.
great.
Yeah, because I feel like I have an idea of what it is conceptually, but I haven't worked with it since like one module in my program in like February.
I love it. We're on the exact same page already.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and read you. I'm gonna read issue 6 real quick for us, but that's awesome. Glad you guys are excited. That's great. Okay, so issue 6. As a user, I want to be alerted when I'm entering an item that is the same as something already on my list, so I can avoid duplicate items. The acceptance criteria for this is to show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that has the exact same name as an existing item. Show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that has the same name as an existing item, where capitalization has been normalized and punctuation has been removed. The user's original input should be what gets saved to the database. Okay, so you two want issue 5. Gotcha. Don't want to assign myself. Awesome. And then we will give Shane and Rebecca issue 6, and I will work with them to make sure they're good to go. And with that, I think we need to talk about tokens real quick because I think we're all a little confused. Because right now the exact token's not getting saved to the database, right?
No.
Okay.
Just to local storage.
Well, when you enter an item from the database, it's just saving a token, just like it's just giving it the name token. I mean, there's an area in the form in the database and in this, no, sorry. There's an area in the state and in the database, but there's not an area in the form, if that makes sense.
It shouldn't be in the form though. It will be more like when you're writing the form, you check that value out of your local storage and you fill it in.
And then it was like, and it changes. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So where's
Bye, Eddie.
Bye,
Thanks for joining
Eddie.
us.
Eddie.
You're muted.
Again, Kay's going crazy with Lincoln in there, so I probably have to help her. But
Okay.
everyone did awesome as always. Seems like time's flying fast, right? This is the third week.
It is, and it does.
Yeah. So I'll be around if anybody needs anything. And Ali, I'll probably try to jump on that call with you tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. As soon as I find out when they want to get together, I will let the channel know. So
All right, sweet.
awesome.
Have a
Thank
good one, everybody.
Bye.
you.
So right now, can I share the code how we have it? Okay. So in add items, we just have it. So we just made like a token, user token just there because we were just like testing. So we just hard coded it in, and then it's like part of the state. But at some point when we're setting like the form data, when we're like maybe updating input based on the values or something, we need to update user token in the state to match local storage, right? And then
Actually, if you go all the way up where you had token, so there I would do something like window.local storage that get TCL 13 dash token because that's the name it has, or token. Just read it at the beginning. That's what I would do.
okay, so like right here it's like maybe like sorry, I have all these extensions so it like highlights everything. Change token like that, and it will be the local storage value, and then everything else should work the same.
Yes.
And it will be contingent. I see what you're saying. Okay. So maybe that's something I spelled local storage wrong. Maybe that's something that, do we want to do that now or something that like Audra and I can work on, or?
You two can work through it in the following issue. And I think there's a second place where you are doing this. Like, I think you're filtering based on that token. Maybe it's not in the add items, in the view items, view list.
Then we're filtering it based on its name.
Yes.
Oh, this is, okay, yeah.
So
then,
there you would get the one from local storage and use that there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring this up to Stacy and Andrew to see. So like everyone going forward doesn't have to struggle with this. Maybe structure it better.
It was funny because I pulled up my project from TCL 8 and I don't remember us being this confused on this. So I'm wondering if like some sort of verbiage or wording has changed somewhere like in between.
Right, like they were trying to make it more accessible, but they left something out or something.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, I was like, wait, where did we do this?
Or maybe they moved that forward like that. And they ended up conflicting, right? Because like right now it's 3 and 4.
Yeah, so I'm not real sure. So yeah, cool. If you two get that like done and you just want to make a pull request for that by itself, that would be awesome. Because I think for issue 6, they're gonna need to access that token in the database.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe Audra, do you want to just like work on that, maybe issue after this call? I don't know what your time is. I have some time right now.
I have an hour, so maybe we can get some of it done.
Yeah, want to just like make a branch, fix that, and then like push it up today?
Sure.
Cool.
And I'm around to do a review, so.
Yeah, I should be able to do a review at some point today, so.
Awesome. Okay. Excellent. Well, does anybody have any other questions, comments, anything else before we wrap up? Okay. Y'all are awesome. You're doing fantastic. I will chat with, sorry, my cat is now yowling. I will chat with the other two and share some feedback. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week and a wonderful day. And we will talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Bye.